It's time for a newspaper review where we're going to look into stories that made it to the front pages of our newspaper. Now, kicking off with Daily Trust. The first story we have on Daily Trust: Northern governors, monarchs, reject tax reform bills, seek immediate restoration of power in region. Almajiri out-of-school children are our core problem, says Sultan, and our leaders have more to do, says ACF, or rather our leaders have to do more, says ACF. And boldly there on the top left, FCTA begins clampdown on beggars, arrests 15. Well, it's about time, because the number of beggars on the street at this point in Abuja is a lot. Some don't even look like it. You just come, hello, I've not eaten today. But we'll discuss on that. Now, bandits kill 4 farmers in Sokoto. Naseni Imose rollout made in Nigeria laptops and tablets. All right. Now, still on the bottom there, we have will restore electricity to northern states in 5 days, said the federal government. Rodri Bonmati are 2024 Ballon d'Or winners. In sports, NAF airstrike eliminates scores of terrorists in Bornu, and the police grill lawmaker over assault on Bolt driver. I'm guessing we saw that report. That's all we have on the front pages of the Daily Trust newspaper. So if you are looking for the stories there, do well to grab yourself a copy and keep yourself informed. Now to Daily Independence. Federal government to establish super grid to guarantee stable electricity. Discloses while national power grid collapses frequently, considers alternative power sources for northern states and security operatives to guard workers, restoring power to the north. Constitutional review, we're working on reserving seats, joint tickets for women, says the speaker. Now on the left, citizens shouldn't die before benefits are seen, Sani tells Tinubu. How judiciary can be independent by CJN Kekareku. Federal government not paying Niger Delta gas flare revenues, says Governor Diri. And Tinubu unveils National Lottery Trust Fund 4-year master plan. Now on the bottom left, police grill rep Ikwe Gachi captured assaulting Bolt driver. And on the top, economic activities more pronounced in the north, says governors. And federal government advised to review policies as massive job loss looms. Those are the story we have on the front pages of the Daily Independent. Now moving on to Punch. No work, no pay disputes. Federal government invites unions as strike grounds of varsity. SANU, NASU leaders enforce strike across varsities. NANS asks federal government to resolve crisis. Well, on the top left there, we have ground rent. FCT issues Tinubu, Akume, and ex-governors 2 weeks ultimatum. Federal government needs 19 trillion naira to complete 2,604 roads, says Umahi. Well, we hope if the money is released, the road will be completed. Now, on Northern blackout, 19 governors meet. President deploys troops against vandals. And Northern governors oppose Tinubu's planned tax reform. Students reject FCET's 10,000 naira fine for violent protest. And Ghana eyes fuel imports from Dangote refinery. All right, those are the stories we have on the front pages of Punch newspaper. So if you're looking forward to get, if you're interested in any of the stories, do well to get a copy there and keep yourself informed. Now on Blueprint, over 153 million children orphaned, 17.5 million in vulnerable conditions. All right. First Bank Holdings strengthen capital base, initiates 150 billion naira. And in sport, 2024 Ballon d'Or, Lukman is 14th best. Well, kudos to him. Blackouts in the north, Tinubu orders aerial covers for engineers fixing vandalized Shiroro and Kaduna line. We're working on alternative power source. Northern governors ACF lament plight. Still there on Blueprint, police probe Ikwechike's conduct over alleged assault on Bolt driver. Blast lawmaker for dragging in IGP. Victim seeks justice. And in Edo State, thieves burgle police station, steal furniture and electric cables. Rising airfare signals shift in domestic travel, costs soar by 57.8%. And the federal government secures over 500 billion naira from AFDB for Kano Maradi Rail project. Nasani Imosero rollouts made in Nigerian laptops and tablets for Nigerian students. These are the stories we have on the front pages of the Blueprint newspaper. Now moving on to The Guardian. Electricity crisis hits Niger, others as federal government deploys military to protect assets. They have an infographic that says from 2022 till date, over 140 to 132 kV slash 330 kV electricity towers have been vandalized. Repairs cost taxpayers approximately 15.4 billion naira, and federal government through NERC loses 1.6 billion naira daily to current outage. Still on The Guardian, CBN IFC seal $1 billion deal on local currency financing, and CGN NJC launch probe into conflicting judgments on rivers disputes. We've lost income to 5 months blackouts, Bayelsa residents lament. And Obaseki says future extension workers will emerge from Agric College. In sports, Manchester City's Rodri beat Vinicius Jr. to Ballon d'Or. And presidency chides Obasanjo for criticizing Tinubu. Abbas seeks equal citizenship for foreigners married to Nigerian women. Well, these are the stories we have on the front page of The Guardian. Now moving on to Nigerian Tribune, where northern governors reject tax reform bill, meet traditional rulers a CDS over insecurity. Blackouts, federal government plans alternative solutions to northern states. Court orders final forfeiture of multi-million naira hotel linked to Nouns XVC. 15,000 doctors exited Nigeria due to poor remuneration, says NMA. Still there, Brescian's 160 billion naira Mboro power plant kicks off, signs power purchase of agreement with IBEDC. Police interrogates rep members over assault on Bolt driver, and on Obaseki, we've improved lives of Edo people, restored hope of youth. Commissions Edo College of Agric, institution posed to produce largest agric extension workers, in Nigeria. And on the top, Rivers CJ summons FHC CJ to be quizzed today, indicted judge to know their fate this week, and Southeast lawmakers may move to block screening of ministerial nominees, says Ogun, with four ministers is a violation of 1999 Constitution. These are the stories we have on the front pages of the Tribune newspaper. Now looking at The Nation, on the front page of The Nation there, North leaders reject VAT plan, OK livestock reforms and security. Foreign inflows drove stock markets to 3.7 trillion naira in Q3, and President excited by state compliance with minimum wage payment, says Akume. MSMEs to begin collection of 75 billion naira support fund. BOI operators sign pact. Now, AFDB releases $350 million for Kano Maradi rail line project. Still on the top there of The Nation, witnesses Emefiele told me not to acknowledge over $3 million collected, and Ogun rejects inclusion in states challenging EFCC status. These are the stories we have on the front pages of The Nation. And now let's look at Liberty. On the front page of the Liberty newspaper, stop using IG's name to intimidate others, police warns. Valid. And Northern governors meet defense chief to tackle insecurity. Will restore North electricity within 5 days, Power Minister Adelabu assures Nigerians. FCT taxers begin arrest of beggars and scavengers, while Kwankwaso advocates alternative power sources amid blackouts. Almajiri out of school children, core problem of northern Nigeria, says the Sultan. These are the stories we have on the front page of Liberty newspaper. Now let's look at Daily Times. For Daily Times this morning, we have, we're not adverse to policies for Nigeria's growth and development, says Northern governors. And then still we also have we have call for equity, fairness in implementation of all national policies and programs. They want federal government and relevant agencies to urgently address current power blackout and urge citizens to remain calm on present economic hardship. Still there, federal government. Okay, on the Daily Times, CGN summons judges over conflicting court rulings. We've seen that in another newspaper. And court orders final forfeiture of property allegedly linked to now's XVC. An expert urged caution on new foreign loans amid exchange rate. Very valid. With the soaring of the exchange rate, taking loan at this point in time means you're probably going to pay back almost triple the amount you paid before. All right, so these are the stories we have on the front page of the newspaper. We'll be taking a quick break. When we get back, the show continues. To stay. You're welcome back from that quick timeout. It's still daybreak here on Trust TV, and it's time for us, with us in the studio, to look at stories that made it to the front pages of the newspaper. We have an in-house reviewer, Mr. Daniel Manson. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
All right, now kicking off, looking at the stories we have straight this morning, let's look at the Northern governors and that meeting that happened. The meeting, they've discussed critical things, starting from the power sector to the number of out-of-school children, and taxing the leaders to do more on insecurity. But before we look at that, what is it like in the north, where at this point, can you create a picture in your head on what it is like in the north at this point in time without electricity, especially the states that are affected rather?
Well, it's like going back to the cradle, because when there's no power, no development. When there's no power, nothing works, because power is just like oxygen for any society or community that want to develop. So this power failure has actually affected the north in all aspects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, but what's your take on the outcome of the meeting with, the Northern governors? They've spoken about rejecting the tax reform bill and the number of out-of-school children as a core problem in the north. What's your take of the outcome of the meeting? Is it a necessary move, or it's coming too late, or it's coming just right at the nick in time?
No, I think the meeting is very commendable. Commendable in the sense that people in the north will feel that they have leaders, because when you look at the north today, the north is sick. Look at the insecurity, which has been on for a long time. People no longer go to farms, and we know that the north is like the food basket of Nigeria. Now people don't go to farm, so the meeting discussed about security, and then it was well attended, because even the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, was there. So I believe that meeting, if they put to action what they discuss, it will go a long way to help the security system. And then the Almajiri out-of-school children issues, which is a very serious problem in the north. Children are the future hope of any society. And when children are not properly brought up, are not prepared for the future will be bleak. Because when any society doesn't have a vision, it's like you don't have tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Because vision is you are living your tomorrow today. So what they discuss about this Almajiri and out-of-school children issues, I feel they should go deeper. They should be realistic. And then the governors too, who are the ones who are guilty of all that is happening in the north, because upon all the rich natural resources that the north has, I haven't seen, or only very few governors that have tried to explore those potentials.
Okay.
But if you look in the north today, most of them are just waiting for national allocation. Mm. And when they collect the allocation, you find that you don't even see what they do with it.
All right, well, we hope that the people of the North have felt listened by their leaders. They felt like leaders have listened to them. Hence, we hope that the outcome of the meeting will be duly implemented. Now, FCTA clamps down on beggars and they have arrested 15. What's your thought on this? I would say that from what I've observed, when it comes to begging on the streets of Abuja, it has increased. It's even changing format. You have the formal ones who just come to you and, hello, sir, sorry, I just got stranded right now. Can you help me? But I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Those people we call them corporate beggars.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the best policies that this administration has taken. We know that these beggars have become toxic to the nation's capital. Most of them are either those people who pickpockets, or even those people that snatch phones. If you check, most of them are some of these beggars and scavengers. So they should deal with the situation in a very holistic approach, not just catching the beggars. Those who are willing to learn, teach them skills. Those who don't need to be in the FCT, so send back to where they come from, and then hand over to their state governors, so that the state governors will also see what they can do for them, because every state governor has a responsibility to its people.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Manson. I love the angle you took with the clampdown of beggars in the FCTA. It's good having you here in the studio to join us on our newspaper review. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now, if you're just joining us, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the program this morning. It's been quite educative, I would say, and we're glad to our callers who were able to call in and contribute and share their thoughts. We're glad to have you share your thoughts with us. But we've come to the end of the show today. We'll be here same time tomorrow with something fresh and something interesting to talk about. At the top of the hour, we're going to be having sports, and we'll also have business and news. So stick around, we have a lot more. Don't forget to be a good Nigerian, be patriotic, and just bring light to the people you come in contact with today. Do the right thing. Do not shortchange people. Just stay happy and positive, and I'm sure things will turn out for good in the long run. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.